Hello and welcome to the Building Your Cover Letter webinar presented by the Career Center.
Today we're going to discuss the purpose of a cover letter, formatting guidelines to follow, and what kind of information to include. We're also going to discuss some important do's and don'ts to remember when developing your cover letter.
So first, what is a cover letter? The definition of a cover letter is a letter sent with your resume providing additional information on your skills and experiences. The purpose is really a tailored sales tool that introduces your resume and your specific interests in the position and company. And the most important part of this that it is tailored and customized to the position. You will not create a general cover letter because you want to really focus on the skills and experiences that they're looking for in the job description, more specifically the minimum qualifications to really hit on what you want to talk about in your cover letter. It also demonstrates what you can offer the employer, your related experiences, skills, and education, and showcases written communication skills, which is often what employers are looking for students with great verbal and written communication skills. Do you need a cover letter? We often get these questions from students, and it's always yes, you should always send a cover letter. The reasons being is that your goal is to be the most qualified candidate for the position. Oftentimes, others aren't sending a cover letter. So you taking the extra effort to really think about your skills and experiences and why you're excited to apply for the position will help you stand out amongst the other candidates. Your cover letter is also the opportunity for you to connect the dots for an employer of how your qualifications relate to the position for which you're applying to. So that's why it's really important that it is customized to the position and you're really speaking to what they're asking for. And sometimes it will say, do not send a cover letter. And at that time, you should follow the directions. But if it doesn't state, always send a cover letter.
So some formatting guidelines to remember when writing your cover letter is one, you do not want your cover letter to exceed 1 page in length. You are also going to be writing your cover letter in paragraph form. Make sure that the margins on all 4 sides of your letter are 1 inch and also utilize a 10 to 12 point font size. Some easy to read fonts to consider using include Georgia, Arial, or Times New Roman. You want your font size and style to match exactly the font size and style that you have utilized on your resume. Another piece that you want to look exactly the same is the header that you utilize on your cover letter and your resume. Your paragraphs are going to be single-spaced and not indented. And lastly, if you have the specific name of someone whom you are addressing the letter to, make sure to include their name and title in the cover letter. So on the screen, you see an example of what a cover letter looks like. So at the top, we have the header, which once again is the same as your resume. Below that, you indicate the date that you're writing the cover letter, which follows with the employer's contact information. So in this example, we have the name and title of the employer. Below that is the organization and the company name, which is then followed by the company's full address. The middle section is the body of the letter. And then lastly, at the end of the letter, you want to note that a signature is only needed when you are delivering the cover letter in person. Otherwise, your typed name is the only piece that you will include in your signature.
So now we're going into what actually makes up a cover letter. And there's many ways of going about putting together your cover letter, but the way we've identified really ensures that you're hitting on all the important information. So first is your introduction paragraph, and that's where you want to make the match. And some things to include in this is why are you writing? What's the position you're applying for? What's the company? And you don't want to be general. You want to list the specific position and the specific company. You want to talk a little bit about your qualifications for the job. And this often kind of starts with your education and maybe outlining some of the experience you have, like in customer service or marketing. So here it's where you'll put, the degree you're studying and when you're going to graduate. You also want to talk about, why are you interested in the organization or the position? And some things to think about in this is why are you a good fit for the position or the company, or reasons why you're interested in working for this employer or this type of work. And here's where you can really showcase your research. Employers want to know that you actually want to work for their company rather than you're just applying because it's a position that is within your field. So do some research, do some reflecting on, why this position, why this company, and it's going to make you stand out amongst the rest that are making it really general overall. The next is the body of the letter, and this is where you really want to make the case. And this is probably where you're going to spend most of your time kind of really focusing on the skills and experiences that you want to talk about with the employer. So a kind of formula to utilize is you might have 1 to 3 paragraphs that outline a different skill or experience that relates to the position. And a way to kind of think about the skills or experiences you want to highlight is look to the minimum qualifications or the qualifications for the position. And what are they listing? Are they listing a certain computer program, a transferable skill, a certain experience? And those are things that you want to highlight. The middle paragraph isn't a time for you to reiterate your resume. It's a time for you to focus on a couple of skills or experiences that you want to go into further depth. So you might ask yourself, what are these types of skills and experiences that I can talk about? And one might be your internship experience or your professional experience working part-time. It might be a project that you've worked on that you want to go into further depth. It might be a course that you took that really relates to the position. It also might be a transferable skill. And a transferable skill is a skill that you can utilize in any industry, such as communication, organization, leadership, collaboration. Those are all skills that you'll need no matter if you're in computer science, marketing, or business. So the formula to utilize is in 1 paragraph, highlight a skill or experience. Then you want to give an example of that skill or experience. And the example is extremely important because, I might be able to say, I'm great at, being involved with a team or being a collaborator, but if I don't have an example to back that up, then they just have to take my word for it, where an example really exemplifies that. And then you're going to talk about how it will help the employer or organization. You always want to think about, you have this skill and how will it help them? And a way to go about doing that is really referring to the job description to see, okay, if they're asking for collaboration or teamwork skills, how will that make sense in the position? Will you be able to work on different projects or different campaigns? So always relate it back to the company and what they're looking for in the job description.
So the final paragraph of your cover letter is about making the close. It's a brief paragraph that you're writing where you're going to mention a couple of key points. One is you can reference your enclosed resume. You can also indicate your follow-up steps to initiate an interview. So for example, you might state something like, I will follow up with you in 2 weeks' time to set up an interview. You also want to reiterate your interest or your qualifications towards that specific position or that specific company. And lastly, always remember to thank the employer for their time and consideration. So some things that you always want to remember to do in your cover letter. 1, demonstrate the knowledge of the company and why you want to work for them. So take some time to research the company, visit their website, look at their mission, their About Us page, any specific programs or initiatives that are unique to the work that they're doing. Really speak to what entices or appeals to you about working for their organization. Tailor your letter to the job qualifications, skills, and experiences that you see in the job posting. And provide examples that demonstrate the skills and qualifications that you have. That is going to allow the employer to be able to see and understand how you're able to apply skills and qualifications in a professional environment. Remember to focus on what you offer the employer versus what you will gain from having this opportunity. And lastly, always remember to proofread your cover letter because what you are providing them with is a sample of your writing.
So here are some cover letter don'ts. Overuse of I statements. You do not want every sentence to start with I because it really reads repetitive and doesn't exemplify great writing skills. So read your cover letter out loud and you can really tell if every sentence is saying I am this, I am that. So really make sure that you're varying up your statements. Focus on what you will gain from this opportunity. Oftentimes in internships, we know it's a training opportunity, but you really want to sell the employer on what you offer them rather than what they're going to give you, even in job opportunities as well. Mention the incorrect position or employer. If you don't make sure you're editing your cover letter and really looking for this can kill your chances at getting the job if you put the wrong position or employer. Don't forget to customize. Always make sure you are customizing and not sending out a general cover letter because an employer can tell when you're sending this out to multiple companies rather than focusing on their specific company and their needs. Also, make sure that you do not exceed the one-page limit. You only have a page and employers are not going to read any more than that. So always make sure you're not going over a page. So if you need cover letter assistance, we are here to help you. You can make an appointment with a college career specialist by calling the Career Center at 657-278-3121. You can also come to drive-through. Those are quick 10 to 15-minute walk-in appointments at the Career Center, and we're located in Lakes Earth Hall, 208. You can also check out our Career Center website for more information, where we have sample resumes as well as access to our career guide online. Thank you for joining us in this presentation of Building Your Cover Letter webinar. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at 657-278-3121 or email us at careercenter@fullerton.edu or check out our website on Fullerton's website. Thank you again.